How you doing, trappers? Ed Schneider, Kansas Trapline Products. Hey, there's part of our country has already started trapping for the year, but I was just giving some instructions to several trappers, and one of the selling points, I guess you could say, for this year is one of the questions that comes up is, when do you use a set? Why do you use this set at this location? Why are you at it? And I can break it down into two different ways between my type of a flat set and my type of a dirt hole set. I got two dirt holes here with me today, and I want you to understand that in my mind, the reason I put a dirt hole in is I don't have exact location. I have maybe a good location, but I don't necessarily have the coyote's tracks walking here. I know that, or I see a little bit of sign, but I don't necessarily have a definite path. The way I break down my two sets, and we're just basically calling it like the trail set, mafia set, comparing that to a dirt hole set, is this, is when I use dirt hole sets, I don't have an exact track. I just have a good location. As an example, if we're on the edge of a fence line, outside corner, all the above, I don't have an exact spot where the coyotes are telling me where they're going to go. The advantage of making a dirt hole set is the fact is it's visual. For those of us who like putting in mouse hole sets, grab and die sets, T-bone sets, T-bones really don't apply, but the pipe dream type set. Understand, in those low-key type of deals, you need to be spot on location, because in those cases, we're actually counting on the odor from our lures to guide them, to bring them in. I think everyone can agree to that a hidden grab and die or pipe dream set, we are counting on the lure's odors to bring them in. Now, it's a good set. I don't have a problem with it, but in order for us to be using those types of sets, we need to know that the coyotes are walking within a relative distance of the power of our bait and lures. They're very dependent on the wind direction because we're not giving them anything visual to look at. That's the power of the dirt hole. The louder we make it visually, the more likely a coyote can find it. I use dirt hole sets in areas that I don't have a specific spot for the coyote to come in. We look at two different types of dirt hole sets, and one of them is going to be more visual than the other. You see me using a spade doing the RJ set often. The whole idea behind this RJ set is they gotta find these sets. It's like O'Gorman talking about his big hole sets. He's making something very visual for the coyotes to come into. All right, so let's take a look. I got an RJ here. The ground's hard, but I want you to notice the deeper that I dig, the more dirt I excavate, the more visually appealing the set is. That's the whole idea, and like I said, there is no such thing as too deep with an RJ set. We might better go too long of a set where the animals will step over the side, but if we keep the trap as a step down here, and for you guys that deal with a lot of rain, then you want to design it so the trap is on an edge, so on an angle, so the water drains off. All dirt hole sets can get filled with water. There's not one dirt hole set that's immune to that. This one can take on more water, to be honest with you. If you have issues with rain or whatever, take your knife or take your trapper hammer and make yourself a trench on each side so the water runs away from your set. So that way you only have natural rainfall that hits it. The deeper you go, the more dirt I get, the more realistic it is for the coyote to step where I want him to go down into it. I'm not going to get into that side. This is about the appeal of a loud visual set. Now go ahead and hold the camera up a little bit and point to the direction of to my RJ, or to my trench set. I've used this set for many, many years. And as good as this set is, I have it here. It's not as visual as my RJ set. It's just the nature of the two sets. The good news about that Foxy type set is the fact I can use my hammer and dig it out. And it's fast, it's quicker. I don't have to dig as much as I do with the RJ set. The RJ set, however, the coyotes can visually find this dirt hole ahead of the time. I don't care what type of dirt hole you particularly want, but I want you to understand that what makes these types of sets more active to get quicker coyotes, to get them into your area a lot faster, is the visual aspect of it. A coyote can see this for 50 yards. You know, the more I dig, the blacker it gets, the more it's built up and the more visual it is. So the whole purpose for me putting in a dirt hole, and the only reason, is I don't have a trail of tracks walking down the edge of the grass or of the field. If I do have tracks running on this edge and I find it, then I don't need the dirt hole. I actually have right where they're walking. A Mafia trail type set, scent post set, is more valuable. So let's get in to now. Actually, why don't you come on over here with the camera and let's see this trend set. And even though I didn't pre-drill the hole, these are standard good sets. You know, it's a nice sloping back. You drill your hole down at the base, and of course it's a step down, sloping down. It's a great set. But I need to be a little bit more on location. I need the animals to also smell my odors a little bit more, because I don't have the visual. Go and show back there at the other set. I don't have the visual that set provides. So I want to distinguish, why am I doing a dirt hole set? The whole purpose is for a visual cue to the coyotes that they will work so that they can find it. Then the lures take over, right? That's where we have good products and things like that. This one here, if the wind's wrong or whatever the case is, they may not find this type of a set. The more on location I have to be. So we're going to move on to some other scenarios, but the main reason I use a dirt hole, the point I'm driving home, is I want a visual. The second thing is I think I'm in the right area, but I don't have it pegged down all 100%. So these types of sets are very effective, but I have a reason for putting in a dirt hole versus a flat set. So the next thing I want to talk about is the flat set. Makes sense, we want to talk about it. I never try to pull an animal on a flat set. You can use different tools like a T-bone and things like that that have some visual cues to it, but generally we're talking some pretty heavy guiding and things like that. We want to know the animal's going to be able to be guided into it. So a lot of visual or flat sets, like your scent post and your trail set, we have to be where the animals are walking. Just like the dirt hole's made for where we don't know where they're walking, the flat set is something that we need to be right near them. I don't try to pull a canine to a gland lure. I don't pull a canine. I want to slow them down with an odor. I want to slow them down with a mouse hole or something like that, but I don't want to pull the animal in. So those are the two different types of deals. We can make these dirt holes into flat sets as I talk about avoidance. So if they're not one to work a dirt hole, it has the visual appeal, but it doesn't, for whatever it's worth, those particular coyotes don't want to jump into dirt holes, regardless of whose bait or lure you use. In those cases, we want to set up as a flat set avoidance, but that's a whole nother topic there. Let's look at some other opportunities on the trap line that I think that we can either use visual or the right place to use a trail set or a scent post type set. So stay with me here. I want you to take note, and hopefully the sun isn't glaring, but I'm out here by where I made the duff set, and I can see the dirt from the dirt hole, the RJ set. It's very visible. So that's one of the keys to trapping, is if they don't smell it, if they don't smell your bait and lures, make it in a manner that they can still find the set. I think it's going to shorten up your deal, and you can see that very plainly from here. I'm certain it's going to come out and film, but it's a great spot. Okay, trappers, now I'm at a gate opening. They're common on the trap line. We all know we like to put traps where the animals have easy access to cross. But when I get into this scenario, a lot of times you have traffic, vehicular traffic coming. A lot of us have to set off to the side, or we either go on each side of the gate opening to where a vehicle won't drive over the top of our trap. Now's a good time, if we work the wind, if the wind is coming across our area, now all of a sudden we're in a good position to use that pipe dream type set. We're in a good position to use mouse hole sets that have call lures that get out of the hole. Those animals, we have the coyotes narrowed down. I have basically 2 trails here. I also got a lot of deer here, so there's some issues, you know, by putting flat sets right in the trail. That's the first common thing. Well, why don't you just put it in the trail? Well, we might be trying to avoid a deer. There's a lot of reasons that we put sets in for different styles, but I have that coyote between here and here according to the trails. They're walking within a relative short distance. I can go ahead and put a pipe dream set in. I can put a grab and die in. I can actually put a T-bone type of a set in there. I don't have to go crazy with this type of a deal. I don't need the big showy dirt hole set because I already got the coyotes within range of my baits and lures. It's a nice ambush type of a location. I totally understand why those types of sets would work here. The dirt hole would work here fine too, but if you want to go more of the weather resistant pipe dream set that Mark Zager talks about, that's great here. But we have the coyotes in a narrowed down location. That's the big thing I'm trying to sell to you here on this type of deal, is that when you got the animals narrowed down, we can go with less visual stimulation and a little bit more creative type sets. You know, I could go ahead and put a trail set, mafia type set here in these trails. I could do that, but if I'm trying to avoid the vehicles or whatever, well then I just simply slide over here to the side and I can stick in a pipe dream or grab and die, T-bone, whatever you choose in this type of location, because I know the odors for my products I'm going to use are going to go this far, without a doubt. Even if they're in the ground, I'm good on that one. I just have to set the prevailing wind, and I'm going to be in good shape in this type of set. Let's keep looking at another opportunity. All right, trappers, so now we have a different scenario. I actually found a coyote track running right here in this outside furrow, right here on the edge of the foxtail. I'm now sitting in a position of strength as a trapper. I don't have to use anything to draw this coyote into my set. This is where the trail set, the mafia set, the scent post set, this is where they shine. I found my track. I can see he's walking right down here at the edge of this, right on the outside of this, on the inside of this soybean line. It created a nice cover. Heck, he's got things to hunt here. He's mice and rats and moles, all the above. So now, you've seen me do my scent post sets, my trail type sets. Now, I don't need to draw the animal in. He's walking here already. I can use just a minute amount of gland lure. I can use a little bit of urine, create a scent post type of a deal. All I'm asking here is to slow the coyote down, to whoa him like a bird dog. This is a situation where I don't need to use the dirt hole set. I already have him walking on top of my trap. So when we see opportunities like this, regardless of where they are, there's no reason to create a situation where he's going to avoid the set. We've seen coyotes avoid our sets. We all have. Dirt holes, you got a coyote that don't want to work a dirt hole, he don't want to work a dirt hole. Here, he's already walking. I already got this coyote. I always call this a suicide type of a set for me. You know, he's just going to walk right on top of your trap. Even if he doesn't smell it, it's going to act like a blind trail type set. So this is an example when you have tracks, you can see where he's walking down here. You got that coyote. So take advantage of these mafia, these trail type sets, scent post sets, where they're walking. We're not drawing them to it, we're slowing them down at it. All right, trappers, so here's my last type of location, last type of a set. And this is for those of us that are fortunate enough to have soybean fields on our trap line. Cornfields next to soybean fields, more than likely the coyote will walk down the soybean field. He's got good visual aspect. Look, if you look down here, it's very, you know, it's easy to walk down this road. So now then, this is the one type of a flat set that is visual, and I'm going to show you the duff set. I'm not going to put a trap in, but I'm going to show you why it acts as if it's a dirt hole set. And it's nice from trap thieves. They don't even realize you have a set there unless they've seen this before. But with soybean chaff, it doesn't blow away the same. It's not like hay, it's not like straw. The pieces kind of interlock together and it works. But it's a visual flat set in amongst all of this open country here. I usually do this about 100 yards plus down. I mean, I just jump in my truck and I run down the edge. The thing I like about out here in the runway is you got to understand that a coyote traveling this fence line he's just traveling. He's hunting a little bit, but he's just traveling as a general rule. So seeing how he's traveling, I have him within a narrow area. I'm already offering a showy dirt hole, say, in the corner. What if he avoids the showy dirt hole? Well, I need a second type of a set, I think, to help get his attention. And those are things for me that make the duff set a great second type of a choice. I also have him traveling down this long edge. This works in crop changes, it works on fence lines, but I have him walking down this edge and I need him on the side of the trap of the duff that I'm wanting. So I'm going to show you how I do it. My mentor Richard Thurman showed me this video, or showed me how to do this set. And all we got to do, and if you do a lot of these, you might want to carry a rake with you, a common lawn rake, and scratch you up some duff. And you know, to some degree, the bigger it is, the easier it is. So now, it's very simple. I want on this set to have one point. Everything else is rounded. And come on over here and get a look from down above. But you'll see I'm bringing it to a point. Kind of looks like a coyote skull to some degree. The thing about this is that soybean chaff kind of locks together real nice. So now I have a very visual set, and the next thing I'm going to do, and you guys have seen me do this, but I'm going to create a runway for them. This is going to be my set. Now guys ask me how many inches. I say put the pan center, the center of your trail, right there. So it's basically right in the center. And then what you're going to do is you'll be shaking some of this chaff right into the trail, and it's going to blend in real nice. The reason for the point, we're going to smear our gland lure right here on the inside the nose, and then we're going to put a scat in the trail. I usually put it upwind, so wind's kind of blowing this way, so I'll put it upwind. I'm going to have my trap right here. So we're basically 6 to 8 inches away in the duff with some gland lure. We're going to have urine on top of our scat and put a little urine right there. We have made a visual scent post in a soybean field. Now this will work with other products. You could do it with hay, you can do it with straw, The only problem I found with those types of material is the animals have it, the wind has a tendency to blow them away. This will usually be here. We've all seen piles of soybean chaff in a soybean field. The header picks it up as it's going along. This needs to be about 6-7 feet long. This coyote, as he's traveling down here, he has this nice visual of a duff right here. Having the scat on this side of the thing will help make sure he comes around here from a visual aspect as well. Gland lure, urine on the scat, trap well blended. All of this is going to look beautiful when we're done, and we made it easy walking, and we got a little bit of this chaff all in there, and it's just going to look fabulous. You're going to be surprised. This is the one set that acts like a dirt hole set, and the real key behind it is you're offering a point for him to urinate on. I don't know, I'm about 4 foot out from the edge. You can go 5 foot. My point is I believe he's running, and if you look behind me, and make sure you show this fence line, you look behind me, that coyote's going to see this duff for a long ways. It's the only feature on this side. He's going to be relatively in a relative area, fairly tight, not necessarily right on it. And guess what? Bobcats that travel this, raccoons, fox, they all will come into this set. I've used coyote gland lure here many years, and I've caught every animal, and they come in here and they lift their leg to urinate. Female coyotes, it's common for me to catch them by the hind foot, just by the position of how they're urinating. So all of this is good. It's not uncommon for me in soybean farmland to where I just pretty much just set in duff sets. It's easy, it's fast. It didn't take me any effort to do this particular set. You ask if you end up with some leftover stuff, well, just in your thing, just build up a ridge right here on the edge. Just kind of push it along the edge and act as natural guiding for the coyotes. It's the one flat set that actually has some visual appeal to it, and that if a coyote's standing over there, he'll generally swing on in, because this is visual from that perspective. So it's a different way, a different tool to use it. It's natural material right from this area. Shoot, I was up at a farm in Indiana with some great guys, and we saw duff chaff piles in multiple locations. And it goes with farming when those things kind of collect on there. So this is a great set. It's a set that is different from my dirt hole, that I don't have an exact pinpoint location of where the coyote is, but it gives me a second choice, because if he doesn't want to work the dirt hole, or vice versa, what if he doesn't want to work this? Well, maybe the other one will work. So it's a second choice. I call this the hunted and done. Head down about 100 yards or 100 feet and put it in. If you got multiple coyotes coming along, and the nice thing about this being along the fence line is, what if the coyote chose to not make it all the way to the corner? That's the biggest reason for my location. He may be trying to go over here to the other direction. So he may get down here and decide to cut across, because over there's maybe where the timber is, or that's where his hunting area is. So all of our sets doesn't need to be in the corner of the fields. It doesn't need to be in the gate openings. This set, going down the way, and you pick out a location that kind of stands out to you, that's going to be visual, this is a fabulous set on the trap line. Think about those for your up and coming season, and for those of you that are already in season, maybe some of these ideas will help you get more fur in your stretchers. Have a great day, and tight chains, trappers.